What's good, everybody? This is your man, Young Squalla, and this is another Always Everything with Squalla podcast episode. And I have a very special guest with me today. If you can introduce yourself for me, please.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on Always Everything with Squalla. My name is Lyon Brave. I'm a musician. Right now I'm into electronic dance music known as EDM. But I started out with rap like everyone, but that was like more because it was my surroundings and what everyone else was doing. And like I'm really glad to get into like electronic dance music because it's more me. I'm not a thug. Like I'm not so
I got you. But you don't gotta be a thug to be a rapper. You gotta remember, we had Kid and Play and Will Smith and the fun guys.
Yeah, fresh music.
Yeah,
fresh music. Yeah.
So where you at in the world? Where you from?
I'm from Dayton, Ohio, but I like spent no time there ever. Like I pretty much grew up in Virginia, and I have been lucky enough to like explore Asia and stuff.
Okay.
Like South Korea has a pretty cool music scene actually, and those Koreans can dance and sing. Like, BTS is probably literally the best boy band ever. And, and I will say it's because, they got to see like all America's boy bands. But then you're like, they have 7 members in BTS, which is 2 boys more than like the normal boy band group. So like they get to do like pretty amazing things with choreography. Which is what really makes them a show-stopping group. But I'm not here to talk about BTS. So.
Yeah. All right, so I know you told me that you're using your music to inspire the world, right? So positivity.
Yeah, I do. I like positivity. I'm not into like there's a lot of negativity in rap music, like them old school songs like when a man I can't sing loves a woman like that, like it was really like heartfelt music. Like when men would talk about women in their songs, you could hear that they were deeply passionate about the women in their life. And nowadays the music's like very derogatory towards women. And I don't get it. And it's creating a culture of disrespect, which I think penetrates society beyond the ears. It reflects in our relationships with each other. And I think it's terrible for men, it's terrible for women, and it's terrible for the family unit. So like I definitely would like to get back on positive lyrics because I think music brainwashes people. And I think it's powerful, and I think it's influential, and I think like when you're calling women bitches and hoes, it's treating men to call women bitches and hoes, and I think that's terrible.
Yeah. So the hip hop of today is very much sex driven, sex and drug driven, I should say, and by murder. So murder, sex, drugs.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like the female rap scene specifically?
When I was younger, I used to like Little Kim, but my mom did not like me listening to Little Kim because she is very hypersexual for like that little tiny sex package, But like I used to really like Little Kim. She has like a lot of energy in her song, and like actually I feel like if someone's going to be talking about female sexuality, it should be a female. And I really like the way Little Kim did it, like like she was creative with it, and it was like it felt like she was very much owning herself instead of like it being derogatory or anything. Like, I'm not really sure what the question was.
I'm saying, what do you think about female rap, like as it is today? Doja Cat, the Cardi B's, Megan Thee Stallion, Coi Leray.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun. To be honest, I'm not gonna say like Megan Stallion is Tupac. I'm not gonna say they're the best lyricists to ever exist. But I like WAP, wet ass pussy. I like WAP. Like, because again, if someone's gonna be talking about a female's body and sexualizing it, I think it should be a female. And so I like that they're overtly sexual, because I kind of think it's like, I mean, that is what's going on with the music. So I mean, you know, that is kind of the scene and the trend, and so I feel like if who better to over sexualize a woman's body than an artist over sexualizing her own body, and like, so I would prefer them to do that for themselves than to, but that's not my style.
No, I got you. That's an interesting opinion. I never heard it. I never heard that opinion before. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, what inspired you to use your music as means to promote positivity and create a better world?
I just don't like what I see in the Black community, to be honest. Like, my nephews they're my baby nephews, okay? And like, one is, he's now like 23. I'm a little older than him. My sister's a little older than me, so it kind of made us a little close in range, but not too close.
Right.
And like, I'd be lecturing him as an auntie, and he'll be sucking his thumb, because he's my nephew and he's a thumb sucker. And even though he's 23, he's like obsessed with his thumb. He'll be sucking his thumb. And like, one minute, I can just see my nephew being like the little boy I used to know. And he'll turn around and say, "I'll fucking straight shoot you, auntie." He'll say shit like this to me. "You lucky you ain't a nigga, auntie, or I'd shoot." I'm like, who the? And it's that music. And, he literally got shot in the ass, right? He recently got shot in the ass. And I'm guessing it's because my nephew be running his mouth, right? He got little dog syndrome and stuff. He think he's hard and he sucks his thumb and stuff. And like, all my family is like they want me to go to the hospital, bring him flowers. I'm not bringing that boy flowers for running his mouth and getting shot. Like, because like, in my opinion, I know how my nephew is. He's a trash talker. And I know the person who shot him, he got shot in his ass. That was a warning shot. That was friendly fire. That was someone teaching you, shut the fuck up. And he gets that mouth from, like, he think he's a thug. And my nephew, I was actually proud of him because he made a little rap song and a little rap video, and it was legitly good. But I know he's like influenced by the culture, and he got his head got like real big, and he, like, the people he was working with on the video don't want anything to do with him, because he was just getting too into that thug life, thinking he's a thug. And he ain't a thug. He a little boy that sucks his thumb, couch surfers on his auntie's couches, and doesn't have a dime to his name because he can't keep a job. He ain't a thug. He ain't never lived a thug life. But he think he is in his mind.
He gonna see this. He gonna be mad at you.
I already made a YouTube video about him. It was like, my nephew dropped out of school to be a rapper. He's already mad at me. like that shit was funny. Everybody was passing that around.
Oh man.
Hey, but I highlighted his little music video.
Yeah.
But I did make fun of him. He's my nephew. I will straight make fun of him all the time. I'm like, he'll be lucky if I get famous and let him work on something with me. I think he's talented, but.
So, what messages are you hoping your listeners take away from your music?
Well, I write, a lot of my music is for women. I have this song called, one that's more hip hop and more cool. Like, there's just no argument that whether it's cool or not, is this song called Top Shelf Lips. And it's like, what is it? I'm just drawing a blank on my lyrics, but the real fly, and it's about, just like loving yourself and getting away from that unfulfilled stress of love. This beautiful self, this young boss self, and it's called Top Shelf Lips because it's like the song talks about only kissing top shelf lips. Because a lot of girls, a lot of women, they just be wilding out with anything and doing the nasty with anything, and then they wonder why, like, they get, when you're a woman and you have your body creates babies, you need to be careful about the man you select, because I be thinking, and the fastest way to stay in poverty is be a single mother. So like, you shouldn't, in my opinion, I know I'm not someone that forces my beliefs on other people. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, you probably should not be spreading your legs for someone who is not your husband. And I get, like, maybe you spread your legs before marriage, but at least you should think, like, is he like marriage material? Like, I don't think you should just be drunk on a Tuesday with a guy from a bus stop in a bottle. And a lot of girls be like that. And they wonder why their life becomes a hot mess, you know? And like, so my music is like about, it's for women. It's about like, a lot of it is about protecting your, you know, your body, not giving away the cookies for nothing, being selective, but it says it in like a cool way, you know, and it's about like embracing the femme instead of like being ashamed to be female. Because like, you know, also I think that's another thing we're doing in society is we're making women feel ashamed to be females. And like they you know, it's a glorious, powerful thing to be a woman. And like, and I definitely think that wanting to be a man is a waste of a woman. Like, you know, so like I and you know, I get it, women have to fend for themselves, men aren't necessarily picking up the responsibility, but you know, it sucks that women are getting away from their femininity, because it's like it's a creative and colorful and compassionate thing, you know.
Right. So you mentioned protecting your body and all that stuff, right? So I seen like how is your passion for women's like self-preservation influencing your creative process?
Well, like I said, I've written a couple songs. I also have this song called My Universe, which is, it's a little fun and a little silly. It's my lyrics are a little exaggerated. It's like my superpower, my hidden flower, my superpower, my hidden flower. Like, and then it's like, it has lyrics like baby boy, it means nothing if you haven't taken me shopping, or like stuff like that. And it's like a pretty cute song. Like that song got like 10,000 views on like the first day, and like, so it seemed like the female, yeah, it seemed like the female audience like responded really well to My Universe. And I think it's because it's cute and light, and it is an empowering song for females. And it's like, you better not be bummy if you want to get bumpy. You better not be bummy or a junkie, you know, if you want to get bumpy. Like, you know, which, you know, like women really need to, you know, raise their standards, like, because like I have really cute sisters, and like seriously, one of my sisters, all it takes for her to give you everything is a blunt and a bottle. And I'm like, girl, like you need to raise them standards.
Oh no. So would you say your music is kid friendly? Since you're
It's most of my music is kid friendly. And actually I would like to make some kids music, like because Baby Shark is a hit. Okay, Baby Shark makes way more than Nicki Minaj is making, like, and Beyonce. Like Baby Shark is a money maker. Like that stuff, you know what I mean? Like some of these kids songs are, or I can't really think of some of these kids, like in that one song has to be making so much money, that Let It Go song. I don't know who sung it, that white woman, that like I've heard kids all over the world lose their shit. They like go crazy for Let It Go still to this day. And like, and then it's a Disney track. So like, I wouldn't necessarily consider Let It Go specifically kids music, but it's like right there in that niche.
Right.
And but yeah, kids music is like this untapped, like if you want to be lucrative, so there's two sides of business. Like rap music is very niche, and like obviously you can blow up on rap music, but it's very niche. And like if you wanted to think about profitability, like yes, kids, it probably would be easier to be profitable off of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because you know every single like 1 to 7-year-old is probably going to listen to that alphabet, you know, as they're coming through. And so like, you know, Pink Fong, have you ever seen that channel?
Nah.
Yeah, because it sounds lame, but it's basically a kids music channel. And I promise you, Pink Fong is pulling in more than probably like 10 record labels combined. And because another thing is parents spend money on their kids. You know, like the poor parent will spend money on their kid, even if it takes them begging 10 times, they will spend money on their kids. So that's the thing. And then also with the tablets, like, you know, adults watch their stupid phones and tablets a lot, but who's really watching them? Kids all day, because the parents are like, get out of my face, go on your tablet. And so all day, Pink Fong, which is, it's kids. And then parents say, you better get WAP off of that tablet before I whoop you. So then parents censor Nicki Minaj and all that stuff from their kids, and really kids are the main consumers of media. So yeah, like if you really want to think about profitability, kid-friendly songs.
That's a good way to look at it. Definitely a good angle. Because I never really thought about kids' music before. Well, I know kids listen to the music that everybody listens to as well, but like specifically for kids' music, I ain't really. It totally slipped my mind.
I mean, I wouldn't focus on it, but you know, one thing is kids' music is really easy to write, like the wheel on the bus goes round and round, and you know, like that. It's like yeah, making a kid's album. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened to be your most lucrative and well-known album. You know,
that's crazy. No, but I get what you're saying though, because you're right. Kids, YouTube, kids, all that stuff is definitely popular. So, have you faced any challenges or pushback from the music industry from incorporating your beliefs into your music?
Probably the one song that I'm most afraid of releasing, because you know there is a certain element of promoting, whether you're performing it on stage, which is a brave act depending on the content of the song, or because you can get stuff thrown at your head, man. You can get into a fight. Like, I mean, this one guy like tackled Dave Chappelle and broke his arm all the way back, you know, like and then like maybe if you want to put advertisement money into your song too. Like, you know, that any, you know, like, to be honest, you gotta find someone to invest in your music, or you gotta invest in it yourself. So like when you have songs, you need to think like, so one of the things I would say like is like one of my songs content is very controversial. It's called Boom Blop, and it's like one of the lines is like, it talks about Emmett Till and stuff like that, and it's like, when he wakes up with this bitch, he will end up in a ditch because black men have been catching cases longer than Emmett Till or something like that. And it's like, you know, Christopher Robin's 40 Salmon, boom boom boom, Black Man Day, click clack, was it something they said, you know? And it's like, you know, it's talking about Karens and black people just getting shot. It's called Boom Blop. And you know, I haven't really like promoted that song up because like I'm a little because I've noticed anytime I put it on any social media, I automatically lose fans. So then I draw back a little bit. Yeah, because a lot of my fans are white women. Be honest, like I'm not really that appealing to the hood, because I'm not really a hood girl. So a lot of my fans are white women. I write a lot of breakup songs, and white women really like my music. And so Boom Blop is like probably the most intense, heavy song that would get me a black audience, and then it causes me to lose my white audience. So I need to think how I'm going to handle that. At the end of the day, with what happened in my city, right now I'm in Akron, Ohio. I was in New York, but right now I'm in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
Cost of living and stuff. And but anyways, right now I'm in Akron, Ohio, and what happened in my city is this kid named Jalen Walker. He got shot by the cops over 60 times. Then they had this thing called a grand jury. They let the freaking cops off the hook. They didn't even give him a slap on the wrist. And then while the grand jury was going on, they were walking the streets of Akron and still patrolling. These guys didn't even get a suspension. Like, these guys got away with murder. And then they're asking the question if it was excessive violence. 60 bullets in one body? Of course it was excessive. And then how do you let these 8 cops get off without even a slap on the wrist? And then there was all kinds of foul play. Like, the cops turned off their body cameras and and they let them off with a slap on the wrist. So there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on in the police industry. Jalen Walker was basically mauled down, and it was without justice. And like, so that's what Boom Blop is about. And that was before the Jalen Walker thing. Like, you know, it's about like the indignity that has been happening. You know, it's not even just the Black community, but you know, violence is disproportionately against Blacks. But the police are just like completely out of control. Like, I saw these police officers, they shot a white guy like 3 times in the chest because he put a pill in his mouth. Like, you know, I don't care if it was I don't care if it was 10th Street drugs mixed together. You don't pump 3 guns in someone's chest because they popped the pill. Like, you know, he wasn't attacking you. He literally popped the pill. I don't care what the pill is. You don't have a right to kill someone about that.
Yeah, you're right. So can you speak about any specific experiences that you had that strengthened your commitment to social justice?
I've been harassed by the police when I was younger. I had this afro, and then I have been harassed by the police. I've been the victim in cases where the police just was ignoring what was going on because they would rather just arrest somebody. Like, I remember once I ran out of my house because a man was attacking me. I had a knife in my hand. I had picked up a knife after he like got done choking me. And I had picked up a knife, and then he picked up a knife, and I realized we're in a knife off. So I just run out the house, right? And because I'm like, I'm not about to get into a knife battle and die. So I run out the house with the knife. The cops had already been called, and like I'm lucky I wasn't just plowed down, but I like, as soon as I left my house, like I was immediately swarmed with a ridiculous amount of police force. Like I already shot up a place or something, and there was like 10 guys, and they're like, do you have a weapon? I was like, I have a knife. I had a little steak knife that I had trouble cutting tomatoes with, right? I had a little shitty steak knife that I could barely cut a tomato with. And they weren't worried about what was going on in my apartment. All they were worried about was that I had a knife. So they took me to jail. I was only there for like 24 hours, but they were trying to get me for like having a concealed carried weapon for a dull steak knife that I picked up and ran out of my own house with because I was like being attacked in my house and didn't care why I had the knife or even listen to the story, And the cops have tried to throw me into the police car for having an afro. Like when I was on campus, they would just walk up on me and be like, "Where are the drugs?" Like for no reason whatsoever. I'm not even in a car.
Yo,
like,
where was you at when this happened? You was in Virginia?
Nah, in Ohio. Actually, I graduated from Akron. That's why I've came back here. But like just minor stuff. I never get anything too terrible like some people. Just minor stuff. But mostly, I'm concerned for my nephews. Like I think like when you're like because I've seen them get like their life. Like I was trying to get them to join the military because they sort of have ghetto moms, give me a blunt in a bottle type mom. And, and I was trying to get them out of that situation because I just sort of saw a downward spiral for them. So I was trying to get them to join the military, to be honest. That's good for a lot of people. And in the short time I was trying to get them to get in the military, like I said, my rapper nephew got shot in his butt. And then my other nephew, Marcus, he shouldn't be saying names on here, sorry, but he ended up going to jail for 10 years for being an accessory to murder. And one day he was sitting there, he's asking me, like he's, like I was living in China for a long time, so I didn't even know. I knew about my uncle Jermaine, which is my mom's brother, but I didn't even know my uncle Jermaine had this kid. And like he's real excited to meet me. We're hanging out for a couple days and stuff. He's asking me if he could be a pilot. I'm like, I don't see why you can't be a pilot. Like I'm feeling real good vibes with my nephew and shit. And then his dad gets him a car, which is awesome. Like he ain't no thug. His dad has a very good job as a truck driver, bought him a car like he's a white privileged kid. I know 58-year-olds still taking the bus line. So like this wasn't no, oh, poor you black kid, you ain't got no money. This is a black kid whose daddy buys him a car, and not with drug money, with his CDL money, and and this kid, he did something stupid, which is he's 19, he's flexing, and he just got caught up with the wrong other 19-year-old idiots. So, I like to pretend like he didn't know what was going down, but he ended up being an accessory to murder because he was the driver. Those kids went in there, tried to rob somebody, had guns because they're stupid, went sideways. So like I just so why does it this? Because it affects my people I care about. It affects people I care about, what goes on in society, and it's not always the cops. A lot of time it's what's going on in here. And so you got to reach these young men, and really they don't listen to their mom. A lot of them don't have dads, and they maybe would listen to their dads if they had dads, but they really resonate with artists and music. And so I definitely feel like that needs to be a more positive space.
Right, definitely does. So how do you hope to continue growing and evolving as an artist while remaining true to your values?
Well, like me and you were having this podcast, Squalla, so I feel like that's cool. I don't remember her name, but I was looking at one of the girls you was interviewing, and she was really cool. I reached out to her on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
and because she's on your show, she said she was going to do a podcast, and she was like, I'm not doing that right now. And I think, so it's one thing to get on a show and talk about what you're up to, but then be up to it, be about what you say, and don't come up there just talking here, like be about your words. So like what I do to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be about my actions. I've always been a doer. And I think we live in a time where, especially if you do music or like if you're a speaker, like if you're someone who's good with words, being a doer has never been easier. All you have to do is click a button from your living room.
Yeah.
But you got to do that. And some people like they just they do it once or twice or even 10 times and then they're out. Consistency is always the name of the game.
Definitely. That's what I really had to learn that when I first started this podcast. I probably did 3 episodes and then I stopped for like 2 years. I recently revamped this podcast, rebranded it, but truly started back in 2019, 2018. Then I did nothing, like straight silence until last October. So I've been trying to keep it up. So that consistency definitely, yeah, because I've seen it when I wasn't doing any of it. I looked at the stats from when I was not doing it, and the people were still listening to it. So I was like, shit, might as well keep making episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I know this guy from my hometown who does a live music review show.
Okay.
And a lot of the people he'll just play for free, right?
Yeah.
But, people get impatient because let's say he's like working the show like a shift and the live stream is going on for 8 hours. Like most people don't want to wait around for 8 hours to see when their song is going to play, right? So they'll have like, so he has like these little packages you can order called like hyper skip or like skip the line or something like that. And people will, they'll pay $20 or $30 for you to play their song now instead of them guessing if you're going to play their song 4 or 8 hours from now, Right. And like a lot of people are what I call it vanity purchases. And vanity purchases are a great way to make money. They've always been a great way to make money even before the internet. And like, so young musicians, they like to pretend like they're cool, they got their blunt in their bottle and they got their 3 boys and they were like, man, I'm going to be on this live stream on YouTube. They act like it's like they getting a Grammy or something, right? Yeah. And they don't want to make them wait around for 8 hours. So they'll skip the line for $50 and then be like, you see, I'm the man. And then they'll go to the club. So you could consider doing live streams with like some incentive options because I see a lot of people cleaning up a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, I heard everybody tell me to do live stream, but this live stream for me is like, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm gonna go about it. Because like right now, I do a lot of batch recording. You know what that is?
Nah.
Batch recording is where you record a bunch of stuff at the same time. And like, I probably got like 3 or 4 months of podcast episodes just built up. Like I could just release and not do nothing for 3 or 4 months.
Cool. Cool. Well, that to me, your podcast is more like brand recognition for you, young Squalla. Yeah. But then you got to think about, and I definitely think getting your name out there and building a strong brand is important. But then eventually you got to think about how to make money. And like one of the things I've realized is it's hard to make money yourself as an artist, but it's very easy to profit off other artists. Like, I see, like, for instance, not to put you on blast, but my YouTube is bigger than your YouTube channel. So if you can make money off of me, I should definitely be able to make money off of you in smaller channels. You know what I mean? And like, but that's, like, so like, what are we talking about? So you are literally making money. You make music too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Like, so, I mean, it's not a lot of money, but you're literally making money off of me because I'm an artist. And like, that's one thing I'm realizing is like, it's hard to make money being an artist, but it's easy to make money off of artists because of vanity and because they genuinely need promotion. And more than a lot of promotion. And that's what a lot of artists don't realize. If you're not willing to probably invest, honestly, like $50,000 into your music career, you're not getting there.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got to do it because even having 1,000 views, it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot, but in the scheme of it, anybody could get 1,000. Like, if you try to get a branding, like a deal with a company and you show them 1,000 views, they might not pay you that much. Versus people got 10,000. And I even heard that 10,000 is not a lot compared to something like, because I was watching the YouTube and she was saying, I only got 10,000. And she kept saying, only. And I'm like, damn, you got 10,000 for shit. That's a lot. But
well, you know, it is good to not pay attention to the views all at once, because like, for instance, I had a video that was like sitting on my channel at like maybe 200 views for like 5 years. And then it like suddenly got like 35,000 views. And then I had another video that was probably sitting on my channel at like 2,000 views, and now it has like 200,000 views. Like, so like you're like, sometimes your video spikes right away, but sometimes it literally doesn't spike in 2 months or a year or two later. And so like, you need to be like, if it's good content and you feel like it fits your brand, you should just let it be there and grow, because you don't know what it's gonna do. But if it's shitty content and you're like, why did I post that? I was drunk, you know, and it doesn't really fit your brand, delete it.
Right. So how do you ensure that your music is inclusive and representative of all individuals impacted by the issues that you want to bring to light?
I would like to work with, you know, to be honest, international artists. Like, you know, I want to even, it doesn't always have to be about social issues, because again, it gets a little intense. Like,
Right.
I think music should be a safe space. Like, you know, for every once in a while, it's cool to make it a space for social justice, but that's not my aim. If anything, I would want music to be a safe space where white girls don't have to go, oh my God, she called me a Karen. Like my goal is not to offend white women. Like, that is not what I'm about. Like, I want white women to be like, yeah, I'm friends with, yeah, like,
Right.
yeah, like, so I want music to be like just like a fun, safe space. Like, yeah, probably the best compliment I ever heard is, and I've heard this a couple times, people go, dude, your music makes me laugh. And like, you know, I like the idea of someone cracking up listening to my music, because to me that means whether you're sitting there thinking this shit's stupid, you got a smile on your face.
Right.
And that's what I like. That's what I would like my music to do, make people happy. And like, I have made a couple darker pieces, angry pieces, but like moving forward in the future, like there is a brand already called Magic Music, but I would like to like make like magic music that makes people happy.
Definitely. So this is the last question, and then I got one more question that's after this, but this is the last interview question here.
So you got 2 questions.
2 questions, one more interview question, and 1 question that's just for my record. So,
all right.
What are some tangible actions listeners can take after hearing your music in order to like keep your message going, or like make the world better, or whatever positive actions that you want to get out of your fans?
Oh, well, young Squalla, I'm glad you asked that. What you can do is you can write down my Cash App. It's Lyon Brave, LYONBRAVE 8, the number 8, Lyon Brave 8 at Cash App. Guess what? It's expensive for me to record and promote music. And then maybe sometimes I hire people to help me make music. Got to pay them. Send me a 5, a 10, a 20, a 30, a 40, a 50. And if you got a bottle and a blunt and you're just filling yourself, Cash at me $500. Thank you.
Any little bit helps.
So, Lyon Brave 8.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, I might send you some feet pictures if you Cash at me.
Hey, you funny as hell. Hey, yo, so that was the last interview question. So the last question is, how do you feel about the interview? How did it go? Honest.
I think that you're cool. You got a cool vibe, you got a cool setup, and you definitely got a hip hop vibe. Like, so I could see you working with a lot of artists. And yeah, I know I sometimes have trouble getting into new spaces. Like, I don't normally like video interviews with Zoom, and I have rejected several video interviews. And to be honest, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hire a few people to practice so I get over my fear of Zoom videos, because I'm worried about how I look, and I feel like I'll look ugly forever on the internet.
You don't look ugly. Don't worry.
So, but so I mean, I guess like if you, yeah, I feel good about this. And for me, this was me doing something I don't normally do, which is Zoom interviews. And I do feel like you have the kind of vibe, because like, for instance, young Black kids, it's like it's the same thing. Like a young Black man, he might listen to his daddy or his friends, but he's probably not really listening to his mother, to be honest, or his auntie. And so like when it comes to like hosting hip hop, it's dominated by Black men. And like, you know, don't get me wrong, like I might be good as a co-host, but as the main host, like I'm not stupid. I know how brands work. That's not that appealing. You know what I mean? Like they respond better to Black men. They would rather have a Black man listening and reviewing their music and being the authority. That's just how it is. Like, so I definitely think you could do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Most of my listeners are definitely men around the age 24 to 32. So I got that age group of 60% men and 30% women in that age group.
But yeah, so subscribe to me, Lyon Brave on YouTube, and subscribe to Young Squalla. I'm saying that shit wrong. Like
you saying it right. You saying it right.
Right. Anyway, subscribe to him. He'll get probably Beyonce is gonna be on his show next week, and then Nicki Minaj, and I hear Ludacris is coming back. So
definitely speaking into existence. I need all of them on here. All of them. So
right. All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely. It's been real. And I want you to send me all your links and all your stuff so I can put it in the description of the video.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks. All right. Have a good one.
You too.